don't. Yeah, like if anyone's watching on YouTube, you can tell it's big board week. That's why I look really tired. That's why I was slogging through. It's hard to transition from NFL to college, guys, but it was a lot of fun because now we have some data, some tape to react to. I'll start with reading my top 15 because you really start second guessing yourself when you're in a bubble in your office and you're like, how do I look at this guy? But Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan, is my number one guy. Number 2, Travis Hunter. Number 3, Mykel Williams from Georgia. Number 4, Abdul Carter, edge from Penn State. Number 5, Will Campbell, tackle from LSU. Number 6, Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Jalen Walker, edge / linebacker from Georgia. Freaking love him. Number 8, Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State. Incredibly fun to watch. I don't care if he's a running back. I can talk about that. Number 9, Calvin Banks Jr., tackle or guard. I think of him more of as guard, but I'm going to give it a chance to stay at tackle from Texas. Number 10, Nick Scouridon, edge, Texas A&M. Number 11, Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia. 12, Tet McMillan, receiver from Arizona. I want to bump him up a little bit. Defensive tackle, DN, 3-4, or however, nose tackle. It depends on how people see him. Yeah, I'll start with a couple guys I want to highlight here. Will Johnson at the top, Travis Hunter at number 2, 2 corners at 1-2, and I think deservedly so. If you want Hunter at 1, I don't blame you. The tiebreaker for me was size. Johnson just is prototype corner. He just looks like it. I mean, my closest comparison is Patrick Surtain second, and I totally mean that. Just the prototype. He's been battling injuries this year, but still has good play. So I just trust him. I would never think I would have a corner at number 1, but here I am. And then number 2, I have a corner, which is Travis Hunter. I see him more as a corner and a package play receiver at the next level. I do think he has earned the right to maybe see that side of the ball. He just doesn't have that elite bulk, which makes me a little worried about extended snap count, maybe keep him on defense, but he has he might end up being number 1 because he's just so special. Like he just does special things. Even if Johnson has really special traits too, Hunter just moves differently at times. And so these guys were kind of clear 1-2 for me. I'll highlight, Jalen Walker, Georgia guy.
Yep.
Freaking love him. Oh man, he just, no matter where he lines up, he affects the game, plays with his hair on fire, good pass rusher, can play off ball linebacker, and actually diagnose as well. Fast. I don't really have a good comparison for him. I've been trying to figure it out, but I'd want him on my team.
I don't think the coverage chops are quite the same, but I've been getting a little Anthony Barr vibes from Jalen Walker.
Yeah. That's a really good comp. Wow, that's good. Well,
dude,
a light bulb just went on. I was like, that's exactly it.
Last year in the SEC title game, they went a little bit too far with it, but they were running like double spy stuff on Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. He's amazing at that.
And Walker was one of the spies. I'm like, dude, you're fast enough to keep up with Milroe at that size. Yep. Pretty crazy.
240. I know. I just want him on the field. Like, get him, and with how defenses are now and being so hybrid and creative, he's better for now in 2024, 2025 than he would have been 10 years ago. Anthony Barr, no one knew what to do with him. Like, I remember being the Falcons, like, we like him, but we had, but no one kind of knew where we would slot him. And so now I think it's a much better time for him. Tet McMillan, I've been saying he's Michael Pittman plus. I actually might be selling him short. He might be more Diet Coke Mike Evans. That might be it. Not as extremely as explosive, but still a good mover for how big he is. And I think he's clearly receiver 1, like not even close, with Luther Burden, who's like, I think I have 20th overall, from Mizzou, who I has a lot of explosiveness, but it's more of a gadget slot guy. Not a gadget, but more of a slot only guy, and kind of has to show some other stuff. Last one I'll highlight is the quarterbacks, because that's all anyone cares about. Garrett Nussmeier, I've talked about him a little bit. Even he'll throw some picks, but oh my God, he's a gunslinger. Doesn't take sacks. Love his feel in the pocket. Love how aggressive he is. Love his ball placement. Trying to figure out a comp for him. I think it's Dane Brugler has gone with Tony Romo. Tony was big. That's the thing with Nussmeier. He's listed 6'2", 205. I think he is 6'2". But it's like that weight always scares me. And that he can operate like Cousins. Cousins is kind of the skinny guy, pocket operator you have to look at. So, and I think he has plenty of arm strength to operate that way and feel in the pocket and everything. But size is always going to be a thing for me. But Cam Ward, ton of fun. Super calm. Love his sideline or sidearm throwing style. So quick. Gets the ball out quick. Can kind of go on heat checks and get a little too cute. And for a guy with a lot of starts, that kind of, it's like, is this what you are? But man, he's got good size. He's a solid athlete. I wouldn't say an overwhelming athlete, but solid, can create, can throw off platform, can push the ball. He might end up quarterback one, but I think these two, to me right now, it's not a great class. I actually have them maybe a little too high, even for my own liking. But I just think that because the rest of the class isn't overwhelming, that these guys get bumped up too. So, but those two to me have stood out. Shedeur is my quarterback 3, Shedeur Sanders from Colorado.
But I have him, Colorado.
Oh, just hate him. Receiver, player overall 2, and our social team did me so dirty. But God. But then, but Shedeur Sanders has improved. I have to give him credit. Like, his pocket feels so much better. It's still not great. He's just, his size stuff worries me too. Like, he's listed, actually they got official measurements. He's 6'1", 196, okay athlete, pretty, I would say a good arm, not an amazing arm, but good arm. He's willing to throw it in the middle. He can be aggressive when he has a clean pocket. He can fire it in there. It's just when he has to create, I get a little worried because he's not an overwhelming athlete. He doesn't have overwhelming size. He's not a creative thrower. But man, when he's in a clean pocket, I gotta give him a lot of credit for like where he can fire that ball in there, and he's tough as hell. All these guys are tough, which is always going to just do big things for me. But yeah, those are the kind of the top 3 quarterbacks. It's a fun class as far as running backs. Tight ends is really fun. I have a tight end from Bowling Green as my tight end 1, Harold Fannin. He's cool. I don't know where I lined him up, but he's cool. Explosive. He played Texas A&M, or Bowling Green played Texas A&M and Penn State, and Fannin looked like the best player on the field. Like, when that has like Abdul Carter out there, Texas A&M has scoured and a few other defenders out there, and he was dominant. Him, and then I have Colson Luffston as tight end too. They're right next to each other because I'm a coward, but Loveland is clean, good route runner, everything. But they're 27, 28 overall on my big board, but shoot, Fannin is really cool. Just a fun player, unique player. Check him out on a Tuesday night in Maction. Just check out number 0 for Bowling Green. Pretty cool player. I don't think there's anyone else. Any questions? Any Georgia guys? Carson Beck out of the top 50.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
I had to give him the hook.
He was so bad this year. I don't know what happened to him. Like, he was legitimately a good player last year. Yeah. People ask me like, "Oh, what was he like this last year?" I'm like, "No, he was not bad at all."
No. Second half of last year, he was clean.
Right. There was a point where I assumed every single pass that left his hand was going to hit someone perfectly in the hands last year, and that's just not the case this year. Where are you on the other LSU tackle, Emory Jones? I know he was the guy that's projected top at the start of the season.
I dropped him just a little bit. He's one I kind of struggled with placing. I dropped him actually a decent amount. He was in my top 10 before the season. He's 26 now. And that might be a little harsh. He might be somewhere in between there. He's really good in the run game. And he's big and long and like, not like a classic bruiser in the run game. Like, he's got strong hands. He's got good feet and he can move. Pass protection wise, he's just all over the place. And sometimes it looks great, but then he has the problem where he ducks his head a lot. Because he gets out over his skis, and that to me, he's athletic, so that to me is more of a like, all right, needs reps and get comfortable with it. And maybe I'm dinging him too much for that, but it's kind of hard when I see that over. Like, you watch the Ole Miss game, the second half, they were getting after him a little bit, and that's where it's like, I can't put you in as a lottery pick, if that's your biggest issue right now. But really like him, he's still comfortable taking him in the first round, and even he'll end up probably like late teens, probably when it's all said and done for me. There's some tackles that really showed up. Josh Connerly from Oregon ended up as 20th overall for me. Got some real light feet. I didn't want to say this to Justice Mosqueda, our guy who's covers the Packers, but he's a big Oregon guy. I was like, kind of moves like Marshall Newhouse, huh? Because he has those real typewriter feet and everything. But Connery's got some pop to him, which is really, and he's super young. He's just about to turn 21. But he really developed his play strength this year, and that's where I was like, oh, okay. And I think I'm going to be the highest guy on him. He's a good player. And then on the other side for Oregon is Derek Harmon, defensive tackle transfer from Michigan State. Probably the most pleasant surprise of anybody I watch, any prospect I watched. And he was unranked. I barely had an eye on him. Now he's 22nd overall. Keanu Benton comparisons a little bit. maybe a little more twitched up actually, but he can line across the defense. He can two gap. He's good on loops. He has good pass rushing chops. He's just a good player. I really, really like him. So wanted to give him a shout out as well. Yeah. Plenty of running backs. Boston College has got a guy. I'm not going to try and say his last name. Donovan Ezekaraku, but fun little pass rusher. Trying to think who else I want to highlight. Yeah, Murray and Hampton from North Carolina is a lot of fun. Ohio State's got 500 guys.
I would say who's like wide receiver 2?
Luther Burden.
Okay.
And from Mizzou. I have him at 21 overall. And then number 3 is Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State. But again,
they kind of seem like the same guy to me. I don't know.
Ibuka is just such a nice steady Eddie. I prefer Ibuka's game, but I understand the appeal of Burden because he's explosive. But Ibuka's just smart. Like he's the classic guy I'm a sucker for. Like he can be a power slot. He can line up outside. Good zone beater. Just does everything well. I really like Ibuka. Then after that, it's kind of a drop off with the receivers, and it's kind of like you're squinting. I think Isaiah Bond ended up receiver 4 for me from Texas. There's like I said, good backs. Gray Zabel, guard from North Dakota State, I really liked. Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State, I liked. Riley Leonard, Drew Aller are 44 and 45 overall, quarterback wise. But last one,
big jump for Drew Aller.
It is. He needs another year. He should. I think he needs another year. He's a little too robotic. Year? This is only his 3rd year, I believe. Probably most him and Jalen Milroe from Alabama, who's 35th overall. Pleasant surprise for me. Those two are the most improved quarterbacks I've watched from last year to this year. But Aller has got so much arm talent. It's just that, it's as soon as he moves off his spot, you have no idea what you're going to get. Like he is not good throwing on the move. Not a bad athlete. He's just not good throwing on the move, which worries me a little bit. And also he's just a little robotic with his reads, which is like, all right, is this your feel for the position or are you just really overly coached? And then they got, the cannon pointed in the right direction. And then if it's not pointed, we have no idea what we're doing. So I don't know. He's hard for me to gauge. I can't quit Riley Leonard. And then who was playing better. And then Milroe, like I said, he made a big bump for me. I almost had him grouped with those other two at my kind of mid 40s. I bumped him up because I kept watching him. And even though there's some parts where I've never seen a quarterback throw past the line of scrimmage more often than him, where he is past the line of scrimmage. He is just making better decisions. His eyes are going into the right spot. Like you can really see the new kind of offensive coaching influence on him. And he's making, and it's the classic, if you make a mistake, make it fast, coaching point. He's doing that. So it's eyes are going to the right spot. He's got a great arm. Okay. If it's not open, all right, create, go, run, use your 4.4 speed and size and go get it. So I'm more bullish on him than I expected to be before studying him. I kind of had an idea in my head from last year and then TV copy wise. And I kind of appreciated the growth he's made. So yeah, I want to keep, I felt like this was a good middle spot at 35. I could see him going either way as the season goes along, but yeah, that's it. Quarterbacks in the top 50. No Quinn Ewers. This is kind of these are just the guys I'm looking at. That's about it. These 6 guys. I think that's kind of my circle. Maybe Rourke from Indiana as a day 3 guy, but it's really Ohio State's got 500 guys too.